You want to go for a walk?
Okay, this is going to be an exceptionally short Viva on the street because it's so cold and so windy. We had to take refuge in a couloir, a little couloir, I guess that's the word, in order to be protected from the wind and the cold. Some updates in the Viva on the street. We are now entering week 4 of the Quebec curfew, entering 1 year of the Canadian COVID response lockdowns, whatever. Some updates. I'm not going to start from scratch. I'm just going to say that about, a week ago, I did a Viva on the street updating the fact that incoming flights into Canada were being restricted by order of Justin Trudeau. They were being restricted to 4 locations: Vancouver, Calgary, Toronto, and Montreal. And the new order on the street was that everybody coming in would have to be subjected to a test, a COVID test upon entry. They would have to wait in a hotel for upwards of 3 days pending the results at a at a cost of $2,000 potentially, while they waited for the results. If the results were negative, they would still have to quarantine for upwards of 2 weeks in their home or wherever they got to stay. If their tests were positive, if they tested COVID positive, they would have to go to a government-designated facility for an indeterminate period of time and at an undisclosed location. Now, apparently, there seem to be somewhat more silent majority Canadians out there who find this to be absolutely atrocious, unconstitutional, shocking, dystopian, Orwellian, Kafkaesque, idiocracy, whatever word you want to name it. There seems to be a lot more people out there who are not quite as vocal, possibly as myself, who have taken issue with this. And apparently there's a place called the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms that had received a lot of these complaints and that had threatened litigation. Well, apparently, what day are we now? We're Saturday, the day before the Super Bowl Sunday, which incidentally, Justin Trudeau took to Twitter to remind everyone, don't be super spreaders, don't celebrate the Super Bowl. I'm not going to ask Justin Trudeau who he is celebrating or not celebrating Super Bowl with. All that I know is that all I wanted to do was celebrate the Super Bowl as I've done for the last 20 years with my best friend's parents. No super spreading event there. I just wanted to watch it at their place. Not going to do it this year, and I'm a little irritated about it. But don't be a super spreader. Stay at home. Don't be cool. Don't celebrate Super Bowl and be a super spreader fool. Whatever. Where was I? Oh, yes. So apparently Justin Trudeau, feeling the pressure of the threats of imminent lawsuits from the JCCF, which is the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, has officially suspended these Stalin-esque, Kafkaesque, Orwellian-esque measures, which would involve forced confinement. Because I want everyone to appreciate what it means when you arrive back at your native land and are forced into involuntary confinement. It's nothing less than arrest or detainment. And typically, in a constitutional democracy, or in a country that has a constitution, where is he? He's right there. You do not get to impose such measures of confinement in the absence of something known as due process. And apparently enough people felt that this was lacking in due process to be constitutionally justifiable. And the JCCF had received lots of complaints, lots of requests for litigation. Apparently they had issued threats of litigation. What do you say? You don't know what you say. And apparently, according to Global News or CBC or whichever one, the Trudeau government has now indefinitely suspended implementing these measures. Measures, for lack of a better word, and because my other hand is frozen solid to this phone. So they've suspended implementing these measures. Apparently people now arriving from international flights, the few international flights that are actually allowed to arrive in Canada, can go home to quarantine because science, that was the absurd measure. That would have been the reasonable measure to implement, which would have been to allow people to go home and quarantine for whatever period the government says they need to quarantine for, as opposed to mandatory testing, mandatory confinement in government-approved hotels at a cost of $2,000 for 3 nights, which would be the fanciest hotel I've ever stayed at, and then 14 days of quarantine at their homes if they tested negative, and then detainment in a government-approved facility if they tested positive. Those are the measures. So slowly but surely, drops in the bucket. these measures are being declared unconstitutional by the courts, as we've seen from the homeless lockdown curfew measures declared unconstitutional by Judge Massey, followed up by the Hasidic Jewish community in Montreal being declared unconstitutional by Massey. Now we're seeing some pullback by the government. What are you sniffing there, dude? And we're seeing it slowly but surely. So you keep the pressure on. Over time, people start to wake up, realize that what they're living through, although not normal, can still be constitutionally justifiable. What do you say, peeps? We go home. My hands are frozen solid. Are we good? Winston, what do you say? We've lost a dog. She's gone. She's walking. So that is one miracle. What do you say? What do you say? Look, say hi to the world. Okay, let's go. With that said, peace out. Take care of yourselves. Check in, friends and family. Make sure everyone around you is doing well, people. We can do this. Peace.